War with Iran is now in its 7th day. Israelis awoke this morning to an Iranian rocket barrage that struck numerous targets in Israel, including Beersheba's Soroka Hospital, and direct hits on buildings in Ramat Gan and Holon in the Tel Aviv area. There are multiple injuries. This as Israel is continuing to strike Iranian nuclear and military targets, as Israel awaits to hear whether the U.S. President Donald Trump plans to have America enter the war. I'm Kalev Ben David. It is 6 a.m. in New York and 1 p.m. in Israel. Let's get into all the major headlines you need to know about the ongoing war. Early this morning, during rush hour traffic, Israel was hit by a heavy rocket barrage from Iran, resulting in several casualty events in multiple locations. There were at least 7 impact sites, with Soroka Hospital in Beersheba suffering a direct hit. Fortunately, there were no serious injuries there. The IDF identified between 20 and 30 missiles launched toward Israeli territory, and most, but not all, were intercepted. So far, at least 23 people were reported injured, 3 of those seriously injured. Now, in addition to Beersheba, the other impact sites were in the Tel Aviv metropolitan area. Many of the injured were in Holon, a city just south of Tel Aviv. The casualties there were evacuated to the nearby Beilinson, Wilson, and Ichlav hospital. Also suffering a direct hit was Beersheba's Soroka Hospital. Fortunately, the wing that was hit, the surgical ward, was evacuated completely last night. As of now, there is only a report of 1 minor injury in Soroka. In other news, Israel continued its airstrikes on Iran's key military and nuclear facilities, bombing the nuclear reactor in Iraq and further attacks on the uranium enrichment facility in Natanz. But Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said this morning that in response to the Iranian missile strike on Soroka Hospital, that Israel would widen its air attacks to targets, quote, in order to remove the threats hanging over the state of Israel and to shake the regime of the Ayatollahs. Meanwhile, Israel still awaits a decision from U.S. President Donald Trump on whether he will order a direct U.S. strike on Iran. Trump told reporters, quote, I may do it, I may not do it. Now, these latest comments came amid growing speculation that the U.S. could be on the verge of joining the Israeli offensive, possibly with an airstrike on the heavily fortified nuclear facility at Fordow. Trump said, nobody knows what I'm going to do, and then added, it's not too late for Iran to give up its nuclear program. But the U.S. president also said, it's very late to be talking. We may meet, but referring to the Israeli strikes on Iran, the president added, there is a big difference between now and a week ago. Trump saying, what I want now is their unconditional surrender. Meanwhile, Israel is widening its attacks on military targets in Iran. Over the past 24 hours, 60 fighter jets were involved in waves of attacks against sites in Tehran that are connected with the regime's nuclear weapons project and its missile production sites. Among those sites hit included centrifuge production and research development sites for the nuclear weapons project. Now, the IDF says now more than 1,100 sites have been hit since the start of operations a week ago. Among the latest sites targeted, the Israeli Air Force hit the Tehran police headquarters. Now, Defense Minister Katz says that building housed the Iranian regime's internal security, the main arm of the Ayatollah dictator's oppression. Israeli officials have said they would welcome regime change in Iran, but that is not the purpose of the offensive, designed to take out its nuclear program and missile capabilities. Israel is blaming Israel for the hacking also of an Iranian state TV broadcast. That is our news flash here on ILTV. Join us on the hour for these hourly updates. Thank you for joining us.